I'm Steve Cloninger. I'm one of the patrol deputies here in the Foothills Detachment. I'm also one of the assistant PIOs for the Sheriff's Office. I work up out here in the Foothills, or District 12. It's about 440 square miles of unincorporated county, cover everything east of the Orting Highway out to the county lines. It's a lot of varying terrain, pretty rural, got some suburban areas, and myself and usually one or two other partners work up here, so we got our work cut out for us. This is 198th Avenue. It's probably our biggest traffic complaint in the Foothills Detachment. The speed limit here is 35, and we have a real problem with people going way too fast out here. It generates a lot of complaints from the residents in the area. We're just patrolling through an area where there's been a couple of little camps popping up, and sometimes we find suspicious vehicles or stolen cars that are parked there, and people are living out in the woods because they're up to no good. Sometimes we find them parked in this little neighborhood back there towards the wood line. Our district partner just went out on a traffic stop a couple blocks down the road, so we'll go back him up and see what he's got. So what's going on with him?
So this gentleman has rented a car, came back stating that the vehicle had a expired or canceled title, and that's a misdemeanor here, or gross misdemeanor here in Washington.
Okay, so the reason the title's canceled is your vehicle was totaled out by an insurance company. It's considered record destroyed. Well, my partner's going to issue that guy a ticket. He's got several registration violations. It looks like his title's canceled, which means either he or the previous owner did a salvage title on the car and bought it back from the insurance company after a totaled out collision. And when you do that, you've got to undergo a safety inspection to make sure that your vehicle's fit to drive on the road. So failure to do that's actually a crime in this state. So he's going to end up giving him a ticket about it. But it's something you need to make sure of whenever you drive a vehicle that you purchase secondhand and you're not familiar with the registration on it. We're going to head out towards Buckley and keep an eye out. It looks like they have a vehicle heading our direction. It's involved in a domestic call out there. They're not quite sure what's going on. They're still heading out to the call, but we're going to drive the highway and see if we don't see them headed our way.
Okay, but for now, not showing any transportable identities or, but transfer over.
Well, we made it all the way out to Buckley and we didn't run into their vehicle, so I'm guessing he took a little side road, and we're about done with that. Doesn't sound like they have a reason to arrest him anyway, so he's gonna go wherever he's going. So I've been a deputy with Pierce County for coming up on 6 years now. I worked for another law enforcement agency before that, so I've been a cop for a little over 12 years. And it's hands down my favorite place to work. They pretty much leave us alone to do our job and make good decisions. And we got a lot of support from the residents that live out here and the administration, so I don't have any complaints. I like this place quite a bit. We're headed to a residence off Riverside Drive in the Orting Valley. They had a suspicious prowler that knocked on the door and told them their neighbor told them to enter their home. And when the caller confronted him with that being suspicious, he ran off and hid behind their camper. So we don't know if he's still on the property, but we're going to keep an eye out for him. And if we find him, we're going to stop him and talk to him, because it certainly sounds like he's up to no good. So no luck finding the Chevy Avalanche or the Prowler, but our partner just went out with a couple of suspicious vehicles over here nearby the river, so we're going to go see what he's got. We've talked to these people a couple times over the past couple weeks about illegally camping here off the river, and it sounds like they're trying to get their stuff packed up, but their battery died, so my partner's going to give them a jump start so they can be on their way and clean up their mess from the campground out here.
Yeah, and that's what we decided to help you out. Jump your car.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Does he need a jump as well, or is he good?
No, he's good.
This white car is doing about 60 in a 35. He just passed a car on the right. We get a lot of speeding complaints up here, so we're going to stop him and have a chat with him once we get over the hill. The reason I stopped you is you're doing about 16 to 35. You passed on the right back there.
The bathroom.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Do you have your license handy real quick? I'll make this as fast as possible.
Can I show you
Is the car registered to you?
Yeah.
Okay, that'll make it easier. You got insurance for the rig?
Here.
No worries. So you haven't had any tickets in a while, so we're not going to change that today, but you do need to slow down. 30, I know it's a speedway back there, but we get a ton of speeding complaints from everybody that lives down here, so 35 there, and don't pass on the right, okay? So she said she was going too fast because she had to go to the bathroom, which, believe it or not, that's not the first time I've heard that, but she didn't have a bad driving record, so we'll give her a warning anyway. Just try to encourage people to slow down so they don't cause a collision. This property here is a nature preserve that's run by a company based in Seattle, and we've had to kick out a few transients that decided to set up a camp here and start dumping their sewage into the river. So we're just going to do a little security check and make sure they're actually gone. And they've been told if we come back and they're here, they're going to jail.
You've been taking me places.
Well, you can see from the tire tracks, this is where our trespassers had set up camp, and they actually listened and cleaned their stuff up and went. It's almost like they don't want to go to jail. So good for them, they got out of here. Fettig and Lower Burnett. Were you just in a wreck?
I was in a wreck. I guess I wrecked into that sign.
I'm not super concerned about your registration. I'm more worried about the entire front end of your car. You can't drive around like that. I need to see that you have proof of insurance. I'll be right back with you. So here's the deal. Go take a look at your bumper here, okay? The law requires that your bumper be in good working order and free of protrusions hazardous to pedestrians. Your bumper is not in good working order. It's not even attached to your vehicle. So this device is for your safety and the safety of somebody you hit in a vehicle collision, okay? You have to have a working front bumper. You have to have an unobstructed view when you're driving the vehicle, all right? You have a citation for improperly attached bumper. You have 30 days to respond to it to Pierce County District Court. You need to correct the violation before you drive the car, okay? I'm glad you have insurance, but insurance isn't going to do you any good if you cause another collision driving this car around like this. And your car doesn't have to look pretty. That's not what's important here. What's important is that your bumper be properly attached and actually going to do its job when you get into a collision. So that lady's car was unsafe to drive. The state law requires that your bumper be properly attached so it protects you when you get into a wreck, and that it doesn't protrude out so it injures any pedestrians if you happen to hit somebody on the roadway. And looking at our records, we've given her multiple warnings about the condition of her vehicle, and she apparently doesn't have any interest in fixing it, so today she got a ticket. Run into a lot of different calls doing this stuff, but sometimes we get some funny ones. I think my favorite, my partner and I have been working together for a few years now. We're pretty much on the same wavelength. We had one of our local criminals decide to steal a riding lawnmower from a church in the middle of summer, and instead of riding it, he pushed it maybe 1.5 miles to his house. So by the time we caught up to him, he's completely drenched in sweat, like looked like he'd gone for a swim. And we put the handcuffs on him, and we hadn't rehearsed this. Both of us at the same time just look at him and go, "Why are you so sweaty? You've been watching Cops?"
Yep.
Why are you so sweaty?
I just sprayed myself with the hose.
Cops?
No, I sprayed myself with the hose.
Please show me so. Our partner asked for another unit on a traffic stop, so we'll go back him up and see what he's got going on there. So what is it, a improper year sticker?
Yeah, it's supposed to be only 2025.
Oh, so it's a stolen year tab?
Could potentially. He said he got it from his cousin. But
Gotcha. So this guy had a year tab on his car that didn't match the actual year expiration when my partner ran his plate. So my partner stopped him because there's a potential that the tab itself was stolen. A lot of times people will steal tabs out of the mail and then display those so they don't get pulled over for expired tabs. Turned out he got the tab from an uncle or something who had a car he doesn't drive anymore. So he got a ticket for the tab and explained to him that that fraudulent activity, you can actually go to jail for that sort of thing. This car's got red headlights, which is not or authorized equipment. There's a law about what color lights you're allowed to display on a vehicle. The issue is you're displaying the red light to the front, which is a signal to pull over. That's under the law.
Okay.
Red lights, front-facing red lights, front-facing blue lights, that's a signal to yield for emergency vehicles. So we stopped that guy because Deputy Capetto, he was actually driving behind her, and she saw that he had red LED lights wrapped around his headlights. And under state law, you can't project a red light facing forward. It's reserved for emergency vehicles. And we have some issues with people that like to impersonate cops and try to pull other people over. So we stopped and talked to him and made sure he wasn't one of those guys and educated him on when you can and can't display your fancy vehicle lights.
County 483, 4918.
Well, it wasn't a super busy day, but we got a little bit of stuff done. Thanks for spending some time with us at the Foothills Detachment. See a little bit of a different part of the county, and look forward to seeing you on the next ride along.